Michael Saylor is one of the big names in crypto, but he only has one focus: Bitcoin. Of all the companies that have now put Bitcoin on the balance sheet, his company Microstrategy is still number one with a cool $4 billion stack. Nice. Last week in Orlando, Florida, he held a conference for businesses on how they can use Bitcoin's Lightning Network to scale their business. And during the conference, as always, he dropped some very useful knowledge bombs, of which I'll be sharing here, including the fact that cryptography is actually not new and is in fact over 3,000 years old. Then we'll cover some amazing facts about the Lightning Network, which will make it a no-brainer for corporations. And then we'll finish with what he thinks are the 3 big catalysts that are going to send Bitcoin and the entire crypto market on to new highs. Okay, so first up, did you know that cryptography is in fact over 3,000 years old? So what did crypto look like before it went digital?
If you go to JP Morgan's library in New York City, you'll see that JP Morgan had a fascination with ancient seals. And he has a collection of these seals, some 3,000 years old, and they're little rollers. And 2,500 years ago, if you wanted to sign a document proving that it was authentic, you would create the document, you would pour a seal, you would seal it with clay or with wax or something, and then you would roll this roller over it, and that's like your private key. And the public key was the actual seal that anyone could authenticate with their eyes. And of course, it's easy to authenticate. It's the sign of the wolf. It's very hard to reproduce it because they're very intricate little rolling seals. And that's why JP Morgan was fascinated with it. Him being the greatest banker of the time, he's very interested in sealing authentic documents. Now, public key, private key cryptography, was the reinvention of that in a much more mathematically precise way thousands of years later. And that's the basis of the Bitcoin network.
Now, the harsh truth is that if Bitcoin were to be left as it is today, then it probably wouldn't scale to billions of people. And the missing part of the puzzle is going to be the Lightning Network. This is the layer 2 that sits on top, which makes Bitcoin super fast and super cheap. And it's the Lightning Network that's going to take Bitcoin from millions of people to billions. Now, over the past couple of years, I've heard quite a few explanations of the Lightning Network, but in this next clip, this is probably one of the best, as Michael Saylor explains just how bad a 2% transaction fee really is.
Right now, the way that money moves is on a credit network run by banks. So if I wanted to take $100 and I wanted to send it to you, I would probably pay a 2 to 3% fee, and it would take 45 days to settle. So if that $100 moves 40 times, it'll take about 5 to 6 years, and the banks will have all the money and you'll have none of the money. So the money disappears and it takes 6 years to move. And the Lightning Network is a protocol that allows the money to move 40 times in about a minute, and you get to keep the money. So what it represents is a technology breakthrough, but it's not just a technology to move the money 1,000,000 times faster and 1,000,000 times cheaper, but it also is an open permissionless protocol. And that means a bunch of entrepreneurs in South Africa can create an application on the weekend that works with an application running in Nigeria, that works with a bank running in Tokyo, that works with another retailer in Istanbul, and that'll work with someone in New York, and that'll work with 100 Silicon Valley startups. And they all can figure out how to integrate that protocol into their mobile app, into their website, into their product, into their service.
Now, to finish up with the part I'm sure many of you have been waiting for, what and when is going to be the catalyst that gets Bitcoin smashing through this pesky $30,000 mark? Here, Michael Saylor explains what he thinks the 3 catalysts are going to be, and each one could send Bitcoin and the entire crypto market onto new highs.
FASB's adoption of fair value accounting, and we're expecting something definitive there toward the end of this year. That'll be big because that means if you have 100 million in Bitcoin and it trades up 50%, then you'll book a $50 million investment gain. And if it trades down, you'll have investment loss. But it will simplify the accounting, clarify the accounting, and allow you to reap investment gains as well as investment losses. And so that'll be a big deal. I think that right now the SEC has an initiative to bring crypto exchanges into regulatory compliance. And I think as those exchanges start to register with the SEC, that'll be a big deal and a big milestone forward. I think that'll open up the path and the door for Bitcoin spot ETFs, and that'll be a big deal. And I think as we see more guidance coming from the FDIC and the Treasury on how banks can custody Bitcoin, I think that'll be a big deal. So I think those milestones are all ahead of us, but I think we can expect them all to come in time, and the writing is on the wall. So as each of those takes place, then I think you'll see more and more corporations adopting Bitcoin as a treasury asset.
Well,
Last week, Michael Saylor ran a Bitcoin Lightning event for corporations, where he shared some great insights. The one thing that's going to take Bitcoin from millions to billions is probably going to be the Lightning Network. He highlighted the fact that even with a 2% transaction fee, after 40 transactions, most of the money has gone to the banks, and it's taken almost 5 years to finalize all the transactions. And I think we'll look back on this as crazy. And with Lightning, it is the users that get to keep the vast majority of the money, and the 40 transactions would probably take less than 1 minute to finalize. And he believes the 3 big catalysts that are coming that have the power to take Bitcoin and the crypto market onto new highs were FASB's new fair value accounting, the SEC getting all crypto exchanges fully compliant, which will lead to the long-awaited Bitcoin spot ETF, and then the FDIC and the Treasury giving formal guidance on crypto custody, as this will open the door to the banks and the big institutions. So there you are, guys. Hope you enjoyed. That's all I've got. So if you did enjoy anything in the video, then drop a like, and a big thank you to everyone who does, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.